Good morning. This is the crack of dawn for Cassell. And uh, Cassell Gross is with me this morning to talk about developing or articulating, or developing and articulating a community empowerment model for groups and communities with a focusing orientation. And Cassell is the most enthusiastic person about groups that I have ever met. And it's just wonderful to experience that. And she loves research. Wow, I am very, very lucky to have you. So this is the first of probably a series that we'll talk about what a community empowerment model of group interaction is. I want to start by saying, and this came out of your question, Cassell, about is this my model or is it the model for focusing oriented group leadership? And I realized that we have many different models in the focusing world. And Cassell is going to actually explore those and do some interviews with people about them. And that this model that I'm trying to spell out is a result of the Community Empowerment Project and and the Community Empowerment team working to develop this idea over maybe 7 years. And so we're just ready to begin to really break it down and articulate it. And then I'm sure it will be articulated further and differently. So we'll see how that goes. But what we want to mark today is that this model comes out of Jane Genlin's philosophy and is compatible and furthering, I believe, carrying forward Jane Genlin's philosophy. I was also influenced by Carl Rogers and counter groups and T groups in the 70s and consciousness raising groups. And for me, those are all in there also in this model. But this morning, we're going to just talk about the process model, a quote, and how group interaction can be rooted in this philosophy. So why don't you read it for us, Cassell?
Okay, I'm going to share it as well because sometimes that's easier for people.
Good.
And this is from page 7 of the process model when he is talking about how we are not separate from our environment, that we are not just bodies floating in nothing, but we are constantly an interaction with our environment.
Yes.
This is page 7, noting that it starts on page 4, so we're not far into the book. And he says,
right. Before we actually read it, I just want to say for those who know the idea or none of us deeply understand it, but know it, that we are interaction. We're made of interaction. And as therapists, our main job is to be the interaction that makes things grow, makes things cohesive, makes things healing. So I just wanted to give that reference. Go ahead, Cassell.
So he says the main environment of any animal is its species members, other animals like it. These are products of the N2 process of the species.
Can you say a minute what N2 is for
Yes,
those?
I was just gonna do that, yes. So N2 is very much the living moment of the organism and its environment as one. And it is differentiated from what he calls N1, which is what he calls the spectator's environment. And his whole work is actually to get us he feels that we got trapped in a sort of scientific worldview that's done wonders for us, but also kind of left human beings out because it leaves out anything that doesn't fit statistics, it doesn't fit something that you can replicate, it doesn't fit any of the models that look at the world through generalizations, because human beings are specific, and there's nowhere in the scientific model that takes into account the thrill I see when I see my puppy. Nobody
Absolutely.
writes that up as an important discovery, but me. So
Yeah.
I'll go back. I'll start this over because, and I'm going to say also that N3, while we're talking about it, is the environment that we create. It is the environment in which we live. It sometimes becomes part of our living moment, and sometimes it's more out there. Is that correct?
Yes. So, uh, the body and the environment are one system. He's helping us to understand. And the spectator is as if you're outside the universe looking at the universe. And he says that when he dies, his books will still be there. But when he dies, his situation won't be there. We are our situations, and they're living and organic. And so to understand that we and the environment are one system is a big thing. And then certain animals create out of their environment, like, I don't know, what are the ones that create shells and they create dams and they create all kinds of things, nests,
And
right?
human beings create houses and roads and pollution.
Ideas, mathematics. Right, right. Okay.
All right, so here we go back. And when he starts, he's trying to be very simple. It's so hard to be simple enough to understand Gendlin, honestly. But okay. So sorry for the long digression, but maybe it'll help. The main environment of any animal is its species members, other animals like it. These are products of the N2 process of the species. That's the very living moment. In that sense, they are quite obviously N3. So they become the environment we live in. And when something is ongoing, it's N2. By far, the greater proportion of animal activity is with and towards them. The mother for the infant, female and male for each other, the group for the individual. These are crucial environments. We must not take the physical environment as our basic model of environment.
Great. Thank you, Cassell. So let's take that down now, and maybe you could say how you feel this is talking about a group model. What is the implication here? That if
Well, no, I don't know that I would put it to say that it's talking about a group model, but it
no,
is talking about But to me, what it says is to be the oh to become aware that um this is the air we breathe, or the groups in which we are born, we're raised, we choose, all of the different groups are as important to who we are as the fact that our feet are made to walk on the ground. We are made to be in these interactions, and they make us as we make them. It's
Yes.
the
Yeah,
other,
I want to underline that
yeah,
we make the environment and the environment makes us. So
which actually there's an interesting I've forgotten his name. It's like Toric or something. But because oftentimes people will go back and talk about their childhood as if they were blank slates. And there's a lot of research, and I have to remember the name. It's you would know it, I'm sure, but that we are also making the environments in which we are growing up, even as children. We're not just blank. That we're potent, and anybody who has two children probably knows that. They don't come in like all the same. One comes in screaming and yelling and wanting what it wants, and another is, just nice, and
absolutely.
um
Even two kittens.
even two kittens. That's right.
Yes,
Right.
yes. Well, I'm going to have to go, so this will be continued, but let's just mark the point we're making now. And to bring it really down to the concrete level,
Yes.
when we have a group, when we start a group or we enter a group, the main thing that's going on is not the content of what we're learning or trying to do, but the main thing that's going on is the individual group interaction. And we are, as the group makes us, and we are making the group. And this interaction is a constantly evolving interaction. And it's magical. I love that word, but it's not the scientific word. It's magical how we can impact the group and uh, and and then it impacts us.
And
We
that's
can be aware of it.
when we suddenly realize that we are, oh, that we're living some piece of the group.
Yes, yes, yes.
Mad at somebody because the group's mad at them, not because we're really mad at them, or or we're behaving very nicely because we don't even think it. We just are doing it because the group is kind of telling us to do it.
Exactly. Or that when I had an example that just flew out of my mind, that we suddenly can feel free, and we don't know why this feeling of freedom has come. And it's amazing to sort of record the group process and then track, well, what happened here and here, and it's not linear.
That's
It
what I'm most interested in, Lynn, is that we are able to record what we do and then look back at it, because I feel like there's so much potential learning.
absolutely, yes, yes, yes. Okay, well, this will be continued.